Alright guys, really quick before we jump into the video, I just want to say this is probably going to be my most controversial one and probably will be for quite a while. I know Loma has tons and tons of fans. I always try to remain as unbiased as possible. I didn't have any feelings towards Loma here. Admittedly, I do like Lomachenko 100%. But yeah, like I said in the video, this does come with the territory of making these kind of videos. While super fun, people do tend to have other opinions, which is fine. Obviously, if you disagree, just, let me know in the comments down below and, we can chat about it. I tend not to reply to the ones where people are just being know-it-alls and just being dicks, because those ones are just boring to reply to. I like to reply to the people that actually have a discussion about why they disagree, and that is completely fine. But as I do say in the video as well, guys, is I am just one guy, but I have 2,000-3,000 people that watch the video, 60 to 100 to 200 that may or may not comment, giving different opinions, so obviously please take that into consideration. But as always, it's super good fun. This was a really good one to do, and in my opinion, before we jump into the video, I just want to say that Loma will probably be one of the highest rated lightweights in the game, if not top 2, if not top 1, depending on what they give George Kambosos in the future. But yeah, enjoy the video, guys. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video, and we're here with, I suppose, episode 3 of our What Will Their Stats Be? And today we are doing Vasily Lomachenko. I got this comment and I just thought, you know what, Loma is a good one. Now I just want to address a couple of things. I did see the comments about Larry Holmes, Tyson Fury, Crawford, and the reason I've not done any of the heavyweights is because I done Wilder last episode, so I thought I'll mix up the weight classes every single time, and I haven't done a lightweight just yet. One thing I also want to address really quick is, as we are dropping it down to lightweight, the way I am doing it, I'm not doing it across the entire roster. I'm doing everything weight class dependent. So I'm not going to have Wilder at a 99 power, then have, say, let's pretend Nui is in the game, who we know is a tough hitter, but obviously he doesn't hit like Wilder. It wouldn't be fair to have him at a 60 power down there and have Wilder there. So every single weight class has their own, in my brain, 0 to 100, just so you guys know why Loma will have, like, maybe, a 90 in a certain stat, but Canelo has the same stat, just so that makes sense for you guys. Now, of course, before we jump in, Loma was quite well considered the god of boxing. Before the TO fight, he seemed untouchable, unbeatable. The WBA, IBF, WBO, I believe the franchise WBC as well, over fucking 400, whatever it was, amateur fights. He was 15 or 14-1 at the time. His only loss was a bit suspect. And then he obviously lost to TO, lost the titles, and lost in a fair fight. He lost that one fair and square. But I still do believe that Loma will be one of the highest rated lightweights in this game, if not quite possibly the top 2 lightweights in this game. So without further ado, let's get into what will Lomachenko's stats be in ESports Boxing Club. Now, as you can see from this screen, which is the Boxer career, which I show you guys every single episode, we have got 6 sections. We've got vitality, stamina, speed, defense, strength, and heart, then a total overall. So let's just jump right into vitality, which consists of head health, body health, health regeneration, health recovery, and injury resistance. Now, as always, it's tough for fighters like Loma because he's never really been hurt. He was dropped, I believe, by Jorge Linares, but he was just dropped onto his arms. He wasn't like completely flatlined. He was just almost push dropped, pretty much. He wasn't like absolutely starched. So it's always tough with fighters like Loma, fighters like Canelo that haven't really been that hurt throughout their career. Loma even more so now at 15-2, only 17 professional fights. We can't make too many assumptions because there could quite very well be the chance that his chin has truly never been tested because his movement is so good. So for head health, body health, and total health, I'm going to be fair and I'm going to give head health a 90. I'm going to give body health a 93, and overall health I will give a 92. Now, for health regeneration, I always say that regeneration is a video game stat and recovery is more real life. So you've got health regeneration, health recovery, and injury resistance. Now, like I say, he's not someone we've ever really seen hurt. We've not seen him get like absolutely fucking flatline, get up at the count of 9, close fight, come back and win. He's always been decent. He's never really been battered. So these stats are always the toughest for me to do because as you guys know, I'm just one man and you guys are 1,000, 2,000, 2,500, 3,000 odd people watching that all have varying opinions, which is awesome, but it's tough for me to get these ones just right. So I think we need to be realistic here and just say we haven't seen too much. We can't make assumptions, being the fact that he's only got 17 professional fights. So I think for things like health regeneration, we'll put that at a 90. For health recovery, you know, I'd honestly say, you know, put that one at like, you know, an 89, 90 as well. And then for injury resistance, you know, we never know if people are injured during camp. We've never seen him like shatter a bone or have something broken in a fight. You know, he's never really been injured in a fight. So I think for that, we're going to chuck injury resistance up to about a 93. Now we go on to stamina, which consists of stamina regeneration, stamina recovery, conditioning, and endurance. Now he is a conditioned monster. The way he moves around consistently for 12 rounds is quite incredible. So I think his stamina is going to be quite a high point. So I'm going to put his stamina right off the bat at a 95. For stamina regeneration, yet again, more of a video game stat, and then stamina recovery. As I say, we've never seen him really tire. So it's tough to say what his regeneration was in recovery is like. But I suppose that is the fact that we've not really seen him tire is testament to his total stamina and his stamina recovery, because, you know, he's not looking tired, so he must be able to recover quite well. So I think for both of those, they just make sense to probably put regeneration at about a 90 and recovery at about a 92. And then we've got conditioning and endurance. And obviously, like I said right at the start of this stamina section, he has got incredible endurance, incredible conditioning. Like I keep saying, the way he moves around the ring, the way he can pivot and move and bob and weave so consistently for so long is quite incredible, really. So I think his stamina is going to be really high. I don't think we can avoid that. So I think for conditioning, I'm going to give him a 93. And for endurance, I'm going to give him a 94. And then we go on to speed, which consists of agility, move speed, punch speed, and accuracy. Now, this is going to be another high one for Loma, because he's just a quick motherfucker. Agility right off the start, the way he moves, yet again, is fucking awesome. It's such a spectacle to watch. So I think for agility, we're going to have to it's going to have to be high, guys. It's going to have to be. The way he moves, his stamina and his speed and his agility go hand in hand with one another. So I think for his agility, I'm going to put that at 93. Now for his move speed and punch speed, his move speed is yet again incredible. So I think for his move speed, I'm going to have to put that at about a 94. Now his punch speed, his punches are good. He's not the fastest puncher we've ever seen enter the ring. Not even the fastest lightweight puncher, I would say, to enter the ring, but still a fast puncher. So I'm going to put his punch speed at an 89. And then his accuracy, as I say, guys, most boxers generally tend to only land about 40 to 60% of their punches throughout a fight. So I'm going to put Loma's accuracy at an 85. Scratch that. He does like to pick his shots. The TO fight, he did miss a lot. So I think actually, yeah, I'm going to put it at an 85. I know the TO fight wasn't his last fight, but it was his last really competitive bout. So I'm going to put his accuracy at an 85 just purely because in the TO fight he did miss so much, and TO is considered his highest level opponent. Now we go on to defense, which is chin resistance, body resistance, cut resistance, bruise resistance, and blocking. Now, as yet again, guys, we haven't really seen him be tested. We've seen him be dropped dropped on his ass, but we've not really seen that body be tested, especially it's always the body. We haven't really seen the body get tested that much. So I think for these, I'm just going to be realistic and just put him at like what I think, if he were to be tested, where I would put him. And I think for chin resistance and body resistance, I'd probably put his chin at about a 90, 91. His body resistance, I'll put about a 93. His cut resistance and bruise resistance, you know, we haven't seen him have a massive gash above his face. We haven't seen him have a fat ass bruise. You know, in the TO fight, even though he lost, TO was more bruised up than him. You know, so he obviously doesn't tend to bruise that easily. So for cuts, I'm going to go with a 90, and for bruise, I'm going to go with a 93. And then for blocking, one thing I'm going to say is I really like Loma's guard. When he has his hands up, his blocking is genuinely very impressive. And not to mention his head movement, but his blocking alone, he knows how to use his guard well. He knows how to strike from his guard. I am a fan on it. He does tend to dictate the fight though with a lot of kind of pushing his hand out. But I suppose having one hand out and one hand up, you could count that as blocking as well. So just for blocking, I think honestly it would probably deserve about a 95, but I'm going to drop it down to a 90 just to kind of, I got a feeling some people will be saying 85, some people will be saying 95. So I'm going to meet what I got a feeling you guys will say at 90 in the middle. And now we go on to strength, which is left hand power, right hand power, jab modifier, hook modifier, uppercut modifier, straight modifier, and KO power. Now, with 15 victories, 11 of those by KO does sound very good. However, about 4 or 5 of those victories, I believe, are fighters retiring on the stall. So that actually isn't a knockout. That is just a barrage. That doesn't even mean he's powerful. That just means he's landing a lot. They can't hit him. They're mentally and physically beaten and exhausted. You don't need to hit hard to beat someone physically. You just need to hit them a lot. So I think, if we actually consider what are actual KOs in his career, that's only maybe 6 of those are actual knockouts or TKOs. We obviously saw the Crowler knockout, which was very impressive, but then he didn't knock out Campbell, whereas Garcia did. Now, if we compare other lightweights, like I said, Garcia, Gervonta Davis, for example, around the same weight. Haney, Haney's got an alright little smack to him, nothing major. Tio's got an alright smack to him. So if I, being a southpaw as well, I'm going to be honest and I'm going to say I'm going to put his left-hand power at an 88 and his right-hand power at an 83. Now, jab modifier, I'm going to be honest, he doesn't have a heavy jab. He has a very consistent, snappy jab that sets up shots, but it's not a powerful jab. So I think we have to be realistic and just drop that pretty low because I just don't picture Loma having a power jab in this game. I just don't think that makes sense. So for me personally, I would want to be cruel and put it at like a 70, but I don't think it's that weak. His jab is good. It's snappy, so it pushes people's heads back. But he uses his jab a lot to set up his other strikes. So for me, I'm going to put his jab modifier at an 80. Now we have the 2 stronger punches in a boxer's arsenal, which are the hook modifier and the uppercut modifier. Now he has hurt people with hooks and he has hurt people with uppercuts. So for his hook modifier, I'm going to go with an 87. And for his uppercut modifier, I'm going to go the same and I'm going to go 87 again. Now we have straight modifier. And yet again, the same as his jab, it's not something that he flatlines people with. It hurts them, but yet again, it tends to be setting up the straights of his jab and sets up his hooks and uppercuts and his pivots with his straights to then lean into a more aggressive shot, which is more taken with his entire body, not so much just that arm is doing all the work. So I think for straight, as we had his jab at about an 80, I'm going to put his straight modifier at an 86. And now we go on to KO power. And now this is probably going to be something that is very disagreed on. Like I said, guys, 15 victories, 11 KOs. However, 4 or 5 of those fighters have retired on their stall. So that is a maximum of 6 or 7 actual KO victories. Not to mention that TKOs, if you hit someone in the body, yes, that is powerful. But some people just give up. Some people just get hit in the body and didn't like that, which I suppose you could deem as KO power. But that's not a wilder knockout if you follow my drift there. So I generally believe for KO power, being the fact that let's say he only actually has 7 knockouts, actual knockouts or TKOs out of his 15 victories, that is less than 50%. So I think for KO power, I'm going to have to put that all the way down to a 75, 78. Let's meet it in the middle and say 77. And now we go on to heart, which is discipline, courage, and confidence. One thing I'll always say, guys, is no boxer should be afraid to fight another man, which is why I always say confidence and courage is always high. Discipline, I always say, depends on how you handle a loss as well as how you are in the gym. Loma's very committed in the gym. I think both him and Tio were being a little bit babies about that, having the rematch and if they deserve it. And Loma obviously said there wasn't going to be a rematch clause because he knew he was going to beat Tio and then he didn't, so he wanted a rematch. So for me, I'm going to go discipline at a 95 and courage and confidence both at 99. I think that's just fair. Now what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to find the average of all of these stats: vitality, stamina, speed, defense, strength, and heart. And then I'm going to find Loma's total overall from the stats that I have given him. Alright, guys, after some pretty fun maths, I generally do enjoy doing numbers, we have got his overall. We've got vitality at a total of 91, stamina at a total of 93, speed at a total of 90, defense at a total of 91, strength at a total of 84, and heart at a total of 98. Admittedly, heart did boost this total overall up, which is total overall of 91, which is the same as Deontay Wilder. Now, I'm sure some of you guys will disagree with this. It kind of comes with the territory of making these kind of videos, because if someone's favorite fighter is Loma, and they think that I don't like him or I'm disrespecting him or I don't have the knowledge on him. That's fair. People are going to believe that, and I completely understand it. You know, if someone wanted to give like Canelo an 88, I'd be like, what the fuck are you playing, that kind of thing. But I think, you know, I tried to take into consideration Loma's current record, his current losses, his kind of inexperience in the pro game. I know his amateur experience is phenomenal, but you know, that's kind of what I try to take into consideration with this. And not to mention, you know, when it comes to strength, I try to take into consideration that his knockouts on his record aren't actually all knockouts. A lot of them are fighters retiring on the stool, which yet again doesn't always have anything to do with power. It has, in most of the time, it has something to do with volume and amount of strikes absorbed that make people quit on the stool. Unless you do shatter their orbital bone, then of course they will most likely quit. But you know, 91 overall isn't fair. So far we've done Canelo, Wilder and Lomachenko. It's been a lot of fun to do. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, drop a like, subscribe down below. Let me know who you guys want to see next. Most likely, in all honesty, we'll probably do Terence Crawford next, because he's definitely an exciting one. But let me know if you guys have any thoughts on who you want to see next. And yeah, I'm going to be trying to do this maybe once a week, once every 10 days. Because these videos take quite a lot to make and even longer to edit. But yeah, so thank you as always for watching. And I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.